Hello? Trying this for the first time. This is for Beth, who asked for people to do a first video. So this is going to be my first attempt. I've had instructions from the son finally, Beth, you'll be pleased to know. But he's taken off and left me here to my own devices. So I'll just have to give it a whirl. You asked some questions, so I'll try and answer them. Now, the first question I did totally differently. You said what was my favorite holiday and why. And I didn't take that to mean like a holiday period that everybody has, like Christmas, Easter, New Year, whatever, Valentine's Day. I didn't take it like that. I took it to mean what is my favorite holiday that I've had of all time. So I'm going to be contrary and answer it the way I interpreted it. And my favorite holiday of all time was when I went back to British Columbia. First I should backtrack and say that in 1983 I left British Columbia in Canada with my husband and 2 young children to emigrate back to my husband's birthplace, which was England, and we've been here ever since. And for 12 years when we were here, I never thought once about going back to Canada. I was a bit frightened that when I got back there I'd want to stay there and not come back home to my family in England. But anyway, 12 years after we arrived in England, I decided that it was now the time to go for the first visit. And I had a really great holiday. And I went to visit my sister, and she took me on all the touristy things, because I was playing tourist, you see. I wasn't living there anymore. So we went on ferry rides and train rides and visited family and friends and went back to the island where we'd spent a lot of our childhood and just had a fantastic time. And for me, that is my most memorable holiday. As far as holidays go from the time I've been in England. As far as the annual type holidays that people have at Christmas would be my favorite one, I think. I like the idea of decorating the house and, you know, doing all the usual things, the baking and all that. I'm not too keen on all the card sending and all that kind of thing, so I've kind of ditched that in the last little while. But yeah, Christmas would be my favorite too. A lot of people have mentioned that. And you ask whether I've got a vice or an addiction. I've got a rather negative addiction at the moment. I had a breakdown 7 years ago and was put on antidepressants, and I am addicted to them and trying to get off them. So if you ever listen to me on video and I sound a little bit loopy and detached and crazy in the head, it's because I am. These antidepressants are very addictive, and I'm trying to get off them. Thus I'm suffering with insomnia and spent from 1:30 yesterday, or this morning, until about 6:30, 7:30 this morning, listening to all the YouTube videos that I've not been able to listen to over the last month or so, and got caught up, and that's given me the courage to do this now. But I would say I'm rather addicted to the internet and to YouTube at the moment. I enjoy being on forums. I go on a couple of forums as well. So the only other addiction that I've got at the moment is I have a thing now about making pumpkin pies. And I've today made one more pie. We don't have canned pumpkin in England, so I've had to learn how to make pumpkin pie from scratch by cooking the pumpkin and you know, getting it out of the pumpkin and pureeing it and all that kind of thing. But they've been very successful. I've even succeeded in making my mum's pastry recipe, which has been called Never Fail Pastry, except it always failed for this girl. But in the last couple of weeks making the number of pies I have, I finally cracked it, and so I've made another pumpkin pie today. So I think this must be about the 3rd or 4th pumpkin pie I've made, and I've got loads of pumpkin in reserve in the freezer and in the refrigerator to make some more. So I'm kind of addicted to that at the moment. Now, you asked for 3 facts, or 1, about myself. Well, first of all, probably you've already noticed I'm a little bit nervous doing this, but I'll include that as a fact anyway. One thing you might not know about me is that my husband and myself have a newsagent's business in Britain, and we live above our shop. So we're here all the hours that God sends. Although I don't at the moment work in the shop, hardly at all. But we have staff and my husband who cover it now. I'm Canadian, as I already mentioned, and I am a nana to 4 lovely grandchildren, ranging in age from 7 years down to about 22 and a half, 23 months old. 3 blue and 1 pink, if you can figure that one out. And it's about my favorite occupation at the moment, being a nana. I have 2 adult children, a son who you may know on YouTube. He used to do a lot of videos, although he's not done many in recent months. David Limey, or David Limey, as some people call him. And I have been on a couple of his videos quite some time ago. So I've got a son, and we also have a daughter married who has these 4 lovely children whom I'm happy to love and cuddle and spoil and send back home to Mummy again. Another thing you might not know about me is that I've reached the grand old age of 60 in September, and I'm actually eligible, although I've not claimed it yet, to have a free bus pass so that I can travel throughout the cities and towns and villages in England. And I'm going to be using that one day, claiming it and using it. With the price of petrol the way it is, I'm sure I'm going to be taking full advantage of it. I do a written blog, which I've not been too busy doing for the last couple of weeks because I've got my niece here visiting me from Canada. This is only her 2nd visit to us since we left Canada in 1983. So we're having a bit of a tussle, sharing this computer between herself and me. And so I've gotten a bit behind on my blog, but I do enjoy doing that very much, having a blog to write about my daily comings and goings. And I'm not sure if I can think of anything else really. I've survived living in Vancouver, BC, and in England, where there is a lot of rain in both places, and despite rumors to the contrary, I do not have web feet. One thing I did notice about England when I first came here is that rain is often a passing thing. When I lived in Vancouver, the rain would get against the mountains, and it would rain and rain and rain for days and days. Now, where we live in northwest England, I find that one of the first things I noticed when you went shopping in the local town on the main high street, I noticed that people didn't often carry umbrellas, but when a rainstorm hit, they all ditched themselves in the doorways of all the shops and wait for the rain to pass by. And then when the rains pass by, they come out and do some more shopping. I always found that a bit of an oddity. I've only seen that happen here in England. I don't remember anything like that happening when I lived in Vancouver. So I've also learned how to successfully keep an umbrella up in the air, despite the windy weather that also accompanies the rain here in Britain. And you also asked if we could live our lives over again. Would we? And I've been talking to my niece about this just today and saying that really we can't take back anything that has happened in the past. We can't relive things. If we think we made some mistakes being a parent, we can't go back and retrace our steps. We can try and take the baton up and do it a little bit better maybe with our children as they grow older and into adulthood. But really there's nothing that we can do to live over again. I think we just have to wake up to the fact that we might have made some mistakes, we might have taken some wrong turns, but we've done a lot of stuff really darn good. And that's our life, and it's here to enjoy and continue living. I hope that this won't be my first video. I hope that I'll be able to get up my nerve to listen to this after it's finished recording, and I'll be a part of YouTube for a long time to come. I've been enjoying all the responses that have come through from all the different people that have responded to Beth's video. So I won't make this the last, but it is my first. And maybe next time I won't be so nervous. So, nice to meet you all. I'll look forward to receiving a few comments, maybe suggestions of how I can do it better. Right. Blessings to you all. Bye.